What is up, everybody, and welcome to FLW Videos. We officially got the news from Niantic that on July 17th and July 18th, we are getting the remote version of Pokemon Go Fest added into the game. And of course, tickets are actually available now, and you may be curious as to whether or not it's going to be worth it. Well, spoiler alert, as far as the cost of the ticket is concerned, it got lowered from $15 down to $5, so of course the standard is set a little bit lower as far as the expectations are concerned. However, what Pokemon Go promises to deliver is not disappointing whatsoever, and what we're going to be doing in today's episode is talking about anything and everything that you're going to get for this ticket of $5, and then secondarily, if you don't want to pay for it, we'll also be talking about what you would get just in the time of GoFest. But anyways, if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So let's go ahead and start this video off by taking a look at the Pokemon Go Fest guide that was written by GoHub. A link will be in the description. But basically what's going to happen is we're going to use this as a template, and then of course whenever we come across something that Niantic said but really didn't get too specific on it, we're going to be talking about that, and then of course assessing the value. So let's go ahead and dive into this. First things first, we've got the graphic, and if you know anything about Niantic, the graphic is always meaningful whenever they send out something featuring different Pokemon. So first things first, we can see here that we have some regional Pokemon that are being featured. And then secondarily, we can see that we've got some members of the Hydreigon family, which is always exciting, a rare Pokemon being featured there. And then of course, we've got two new Pikachu costumes. We've got the Popstar Pikachu, and then we've got the Rockstar Pikachu. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm not the biggest fan of costume Pikachus. Like, I'm never excited about going out and getting one or anything. But if you throw a Rockstar Pikachu in front of me, I'm definitely going to make sure to get that. So that's actually going to end up being an exclusive for event holders where you're going to pick between the two. And it's actually going to control the music that you experience throughout the event, which is a pretty cool thing to add, but that's just kind of like a complimentary thing. But let's go ahead and dive into some of these details. So first things first, we are going to get a habitat rotation between some different things, and then that's going to happen throughout day one. Day one is centered around catching Pokemon. Day two is centered around raiding Pokemon, so we're going to dive into that. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going to happen for day one. And as far as the Pokemon that you're going to be able to catch, now this is actually going to be for everyone, which is pretty cool because there are some great Pokemon in here. So of course, for the jungle habitat, we can see that we've got Scyther here, and then we've got Froakie. So Froakie being a starter, a lot of people are interested in that one, developing candy, because eventually we are going to get a community day exclusive move for it. So people are excited about that. And then for the Desert Mountain, Shieldon and Skarmory are going to be high focuses for PvP side. So if you're interested in PvP, you've got some great options there. And then of course, if we go ahead and go down and check out the Ocean Beach, we can see that we've got Dratini here. So Dratini looking good. And that's probably going to be it for the Ocean Beach. And then finally, we've got the cave. Now for the cave, this is probably going to be my absolute top favorite spawn that we're just going to get for the event in general. That's going to be Dino. Crossing your fingers that you can get shiny Dino out of this, but it's going to be great. And this is an important conversation to just mention Dino here, because it's also going to be featured in raid. So that's of course going to be a discussion that you have to have as to exactly how you want to use your resources. And then finally, we have just general spawns that are going to be throughout the event. And then a couple of them are actually going to get their shiny variants added in. So we've got Chimecho that'll get a shiny, and Audino that will get a shiny. But let's go ahead and take a look at the new shiny Pokemon that are also going to be here. So first things first, we've got the Whismur family. And out of these three, I think shiny Whismur looks the best. But of course, I would love to know what you think about that. And then when we go ahead and scroll down, we can see that we've got a new shiny Tympole family, and the shiny Seismitoad looks incredible. I am going to be so happy if I can get my hands on this, because the design just looks fantastic. I absolutely love that orange-green combination. If you are a University of Miami fan, then you might be excited about that one a little bit. But anyways, we've got two more that we have featured here. That's going to be a shiny Chimecho and then a shiny Audino. So definitely excited about that. Audino going to have a Mega Evolution at some point in time, so that could be a fun one to end up having. But then secondarily, so I mentioned before that day one is going to be featured around catching Pokemon, but there are also going to be raids featured in day one that are going to be kind of interesting to have. So first things first, we've got the shiny Zigzagoon here that you could end up getting, the Galarian form of that. People are just raiding that like crazy right now. So it's going to be featured back again during GoFest, so people will be excited about that. And then, of course, we've got the Galarian Ponyta that will be added into raids as well. That will probably also be raided like crazy, but people will definitely be doing that because the shiny rate was messed up and it wasn't actually released when Ponyta was released for an event. So people are probably going to be raiding the heck out of that one. And then, of course, we've got Cranidos here, which is going to be pretty interesting to have, but because it's stuck in raids, it's going to be level 20, level 25. So I don't know if that's going to be so much value. And then finally, we got Dino here, but I don't know why you would raid Dino in this particular case. I would recommend you just getting it during the habitat that it's going to spawn in. I think that's probably a better way to go, because although this ticket is $5, it definitely sets you up to spend more money. So keep that in mind. In this particular case, raiding a Dino doesn't seem like the greatest thing to do. Instead, I would just focus on it from the desert, or from the habitat that it's in. And yeah, so that's basically my point, is the ticket's $5, but there's going to be things that allow you to spend extra money. So just be aware of that for sure. So anyways, if we go ahead and get into the specifics for ticket holders, first things first, we've got that Popstar or Rockstar Pikachu. So you're going to pick between that. I already mentioned that though, so we're going to go ahead and scroll down. Now, as far as completing the challenges are concerned, there's going to be challenges for each of the habitats. And once we complete them, particular Pokemon are going to spawn for ticket holders. And of course, we can see that we've got an unknown F here and an unknown G, so that's going to be a lot of fun to have. And the shiny variants will be available for that as well. And then secondarily, we've got Chatot here, which is a regional, so I'm definitely going to make sure that I get myself one of those. And then of course, we've got Serperior here, which is going to be a pretty interesting one for people to have. Secondarily, when we go ahead and head over to the Desert Mountain, now this is going to be just an insane set of value out of this. So we do have access to Tyranitar, which will be spawning for the Desert Mountain once we end up meeting the bonus. And the reason why Tyranitar is going to be such an amazing Pokemon to get, not only is it a great Pokemon, but secondarily, it's going to be the candy associated to it. If you are low on just the Larvitar candy, if you catch yourself a Tyranitar, you'll get 10 candy for that. And then if you use a Pineapple Berry, you will get 20 for everyone that you catch. So good luck on that. That's something that I'm definitely going to be focusing on and making sure that I am playing during that Desert Mountain, especially during the bonus time of that. And then of course, secondarily, from this habitat, we've got Throw, which people could be excited about if it isn't in your region. And then of course, having access to a new shiny of that, which we will take a look at in a second. So they do have that featured here. And then of course, for the Ocean Beach, I think Gyarados is probably going to be the most value, just because you're going to save 400 candy for every Gyarados that you catch. That's one that you didn't have to evolve, so that's going to be a ton of fun there. And then as far as the cave is concerned, I'm not seeing a whole lot of value out of this. Maybe Umbreon could end up being a fun one to have, but even then, if you're using it for PvP, it's not going to have Last Resort, so you would have to use an exclusive TM to be able to get that. So cave, not so much value out of that one, but hey, you got to take a break at some point throughout this event, right? But anyways, I mentioned before that we've got some new Pokemon here, so we do have actually both shiny unknowns that will be available. So we've got Shiny Sock as well, Shiny Throw. I'm thinking that Shiny Sock is probably going to be my favorite out of this. I'm thinking that Shiny Sock is probably going to end up being my favorite out of these two here. But anyways, if we go to move on to day 2 now, day 2 is where you pick up some major value. And that's of course going to be related to raiding in general. So first things first, you're going to get an extra 10,000 XP for every raid that you do, which is nice. And then of course, you're going to actually get 10 free raid passes, which is just insane. So normally when you spend one, you get 1 free raid pass. Well, you're going to actually be getting 10 throughout this event. So that's going to be amazing. So make sure that you, if you can get out, go ahead and spend your gems, get in there, do a raid, and then just keep going and going, and you'll be able to get 10 that way. And then secondarily, you're going to be able to earn up to 8 remote raid passes throughout the research that they're going to give out for us. So you're going to, of course, get a total so far of 18 raid passes. And then they even mentioned that there is picking up a free bundle containing 3 remote raid passes as well. So if my math serves me correctly, that's going to be 21 raid passes, $5, 21 raid passes. Of course, max, if you can use all of them, That's going to be absolutely amazing. So maybe hold off on raiding for day 1 unless you really want to do Zigzagoon or something, but who knows? It could end up being featured in day 2, and I would rather you do it with these free ones, if you will, than just paying for it on your own, because these bonuses are going to come into day 2, so definitely just keep that in mind. And as far as the Pokemon that are being featured, they don't actually have a list of all of them, so who knows what that's going to be, but I think people will be excited about that, especially since they're going to be free raid passes. People aren't going to be too worried about that. But then secondarily, we've got some typical things that we see during like a community day, for example, where we can see that we're going to get lure modules that are going to last for 3 hours. We're going to get one half hatching distance for the eggs. And then there's going to be new Pokemon kind of featured in the 7-kilometer eggs. Yeah, that's going to be a big no for me. With that Audino, because it's featured out in the wild and you can still get a shiny, I'm not going to worry about 7-kilometer eggs or using my incubators for that. And then, of course, like we've already talked about, we've got these shiny unknowns here, which is something that a lot of people are going to be excited about. And then secondarily, something that I skipped was going to be that there's going to be a mythical Pokemon that's going to be featured throughout this event. So since this event focuses around music, I think that the mythical Pokemon that's going to probably be featured is Meloetta. If you don't know about Meloetta, here's a model for it so you can kind of like know what it looks like or whatever. But of course, that's going to be speculation, but it's definitely going to kind of stick with the theme. So I think that that's going to make a lot of sense. And then there's going to be a couple of other small features, such as Google Play sponsoring the event, and you're going to get some extra rewards and stuff if you are an Android owner. Of course, since Google Play is associated with Android and not with Apple, that's just a part of it. I mean, I don't know if that's the fairest thing in the world, because there's a lot of players who are going to have Apple products, but yeah, that's just going to be a little bit of a small little bonus to kind of add on top, and it makes sense since Google Play is sponsoring the event. And then, of course, there's some other little small things that you can do. But, of course, we kind of covered the main part of this video. So I definitely want to know what your plans are for GoFest. Definitely let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that it's going to be a good set of values? I think just by the raid passes alone, it is completely worth it, especially since we're going to get access to what would be 11 remote raid passes with the free bundle that they mentioned. So if you can get out there and do raids, basically people just need to be sending raids to each other, and it's going to be a ton of fun on that day, and definitely worth it, at least in my opinion. But I would love to know what you are most excited about for GoFest. Definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and check out the new Patreon page. We've got a Discord server where we're talking about Pokemon Go, and I can promise you we're going to be discussing GoFest in it. We're sharing raids, we're sharing friend codes, and everything like that. So if you want to support the channel and connect with other Pokemon Go players, make sure to check out that link in the description, and I will see you next time.